What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Pretty pissed off, man. If you guys haven't heard, Adonis Stevenson and Sergey Kovalev, it looks like that fight has just been swept under the rug, and it's somewhere in the atmosphere. We may never see it. Put it in there with Mayweather Pacquiao. Put it in there with Mikey Garcia, Yuriorkis Gamboa, and several other fights, Abner Mares and Nonito Donaire. Just put it with all those fucking fights. It's just a fight that we want as fans, and we're probably not going to get. So basically, I knew this was going to be something tricky would happen, and everything's surfacing now. I reported on Instagram, on my Instagram, boxing at Boxing Ego, and also I did a video. Adonis Stevenson, he signed to Al Heyman. I also made a video recently, even more recently, about Al Heyman. I said he's the godfather of boxing. He has a lot of power, a lot of top superstars in the sport of boxing, recognizable faces and names in the sport of boxing. And what's happening is boxing is being monopolized, and there's good and bad. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch that video I did. It's called Al Heyman is the Godfather of Boxing. I kind of elaborated. Just real quick, the good is it's good. It can be good for the fighters who want to make the most money. This is their livelihood. They have families, they have mortgages, different things like that. And having a advisor with a lot of power that a lot of people are already signed with, it's going to guarantee you probably some better looks. Like John Molina just got signed to fight Lucas Matisse, and before that, he hadn't really got that many big fights. He's just been kind of inactive, but immediately he gets with Al Heyman and Lucas Matisse fights made. Before that, he had a fight with Mickey Bay. He had a fight with DeMarco, and there was a lot of inactivity in between that. So that's one of the benefits with being with a powerful advisor like Al Heyman. The downside is fuckery and bullshit like this, where there's great fights and we may not get it based on just politics, and certain fighters can't fight on this network, or they're signed with him and they can't fight with this promotional company. Just all kinds of just politics and territorial egos and all kinds of things like that. Now, apparently, HBO had a deal in place to make the Kovalev and Stevenson fight. And this is a fight, if you guys remember, this is a fight that has been groomed. If you look at it, Mayweather would fight Canelo in the future. He had Canelo on his undercards, and they kind of build him up a little bit. And that's a common practice. Nonito Donaire and Guillermo Rigondeaux, they were actually supposed to fight on the card, but Rigondeaux's opponent, he had like some kind of rare blood disease, and he had to retire from boxing. But he was supposed to be on the Nonito. I think Jorge Arce in Nonito fight. Rigondeaux was supposed to be on that card, if I'm not mistaken. And again, based on his opponent getting this, like, not passing the physical or whatever, the drug test, or not the drug test, but the physical test, because he had that blood pathogen rare disease or whatever, he was taken off, even though they later fought anyway. But this is a common practice to have future opponents pitted on the same card. You might see that kind of with Luis Collazo and Amir Khan. That winner may face the winner of Mayweather Maidana as well. So common practice. And Stevenson, if you guys remember their very last fight, Stevenson and Kovalev were on the same card, but this was on HBO. And what's the name? Stevenson fought. I'm drawing a blank. Kovalev, I remember he fought Ishmael, and then Stevenson fought too. They both had KOs on that particular card, and this was what HBO was pushing: the mega fight between Kovalev, who was signed with Main Events, and Adonis Stevenson. Now it doesn't look like it's going to happen, because apparently Al Heyman, this is, and when it comes to business, who knows? And that's what I try to tell people with the Mayweather Pacquiao situation. So many hands in the cookie jar, it's almost impossible to decipher and pinpoint who is the sole blame, because a lot of times it's not a sole blame. It's HBO, it's Showtime, it's Al Heyman, it's Kathy at Main Events, it's everybody's. It's like everybody and conflicting ideas and opinions all mixed in one and stirred around in a shitstorm. So with this, apparently HBO had this in place. They were grooming this fight. This was the mega fight that they wanted on their network. And the monkey wrench was thrown in when Adonis Stevenson signed with Al Heyman. As you guys know, HBO, they stopped dealing with Al Heyman fighters. They stopped dealing with Golden Boy fighters. Al Heyman works with a lot of his talent is with Golden Boy. So that's already a dilemma. So he recently signed Stevenson, and apparently him as an advisor, his job is to get the most money for him and his fighter. So apparently he went in and he was trying to renegotiate different things with HBO, and they already had the the fight and the deal already in place, and then he went in and it just everything went down from that point. Is he was trying to get more money than what they were currently offering, and then Showtime offered to pay more money than HBO. From what I'm hearing, they offered to pay more money than HBO to have Kovalev Stevenson, and it was HBO's turn to have a counter offer and beat that offer. And I guess they had until Tuesday, and they elected not to match the offer. They declined it, and they're just like, fuck it. So another great fight that it doesn't look like we're going to get. And it's all because of business, politics, greed, money, egos, clash of personality, etc., etc., etc. No different from Mayweather Pacquiao. And that's, like I said, I tried to tell people this shit happens all the time in business in general. We don't always get to see. There's a lot of times people come in and start making changes. New people get in place. I don't know if you guys know this, but Chipotle was originally owned by McDonald's. But again, things happen, and in business, decisions are made. Certain people get in position and fuck things up and make decisions, and we just have to live with it. I'm just pissed off from the standpoint of me being a boxing fan, and I think it's a hell of a fight. And again, it sounds like, I would say if anybody ducked, it looks like Stevenson ducked Kovalev, because his whole MO seemed like it was surrounded about money. Like, obviously he wants to make a pretty penny, but Kovalev just sounds like he just wants to fight, and Stevenson wants whatever amount of money that HBO was not willing to put up, and everything went like downhill from that particular point. And just in terms of the demeanor and the body language, I would say Stevenson seemed more reluctant when it came to Kovalev questions. Kovalev outright said he wanted to fight Adonis Stevenson, and I mean, that was it. Adonis Stevenson seems the one that's a little bit more apprehensive. Like, if the money is good, like, oh, like he was just saying, like, if the money's good, money, money, money. And no wonder, no fucking wonder this fight is not happening now, because it's all about money. It's all about business. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody wants the biggest slice of cheese. You know what I mean? It's like a rat race. Everyone's looking for that big slice of cheese. Just pisses me the fuck off because I want to see it. I don't know, and I have some connects at main events, so I'll try to talk to them. I don't know why this fight still can't take place on Showtime. I don't know if main events prefers dealing with HBO instead of Showtime. I'll try to research and get some more insight as far as why it doesn't look like it's taking place, but based on everything, it doesn't look like it. Looked like main events and Kovalev, either they're signed to a deal with HBO or they want to work with HBO, and the Showtime idea is out of the question, which leads the winner of Shumanov versus Bernard Hopkins is probably going to face Adonis Stevens if he wins his next fight, and that looks like the fight to make. Not a bad fight, obviously. Bernard Hopkins is, to me, he's like a fossil, so it's always interesting to watch someone who's been there for different generations to see how long he can entertain and be in the ring with these younger guys like Tavoris Clouds and whatever, and see if he can make him look bad. He's a very smart fighter, but there's no way that Bernard Hopkins and Stevenson is comparable to Kovalev-Stevenson. That's like a filet mignon versus a $6 burger from Carl's Jr. Like, the $6 burger is straight, it's cool, but that's what Hopkins Stevenson is compared to Kovalev-Stevenson. Kovalev-Stevenson, you have two boxer punchers with crazy power, and they're in their prime. Stevenson is resurrected his career after his loss. He had like 4 wins in a row, and he was looking very impressive. He took a little bit of Bernard Hopkins' blueprint when he fought Tavoris Cloud and had a beautiful dominating performance against him. Kovalev just looks like a fucking bulldozer. His fight with Cleverly, his fight with Ishmael, he just looks, you know what I mean, he looks legit. And then there's also been people like mutual opponents, like Boone, who I think 78 posted a video where he interviewed Boone, and he was basically saying that Kovalev is the business, and he hits the hardest. He hits harder than Stevenson, etc. So I had a lot riding on this fight. I really wanted to see this fight. Now it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So boxing is just not on my good side. Last year we had Canelo versus Austin Trout. Seemed pretty easy to make. Nonito and Rigondeaux, not too many complications there. Canelo and Mayweather seemed pretty easy to make. Lucas Matisse, Danny Garcia seemed pretty easy to make. Yeah, Pacquiao Rios didn't have really any hangups there. And now this year's just been literally fueled with like business. It's like the year of the business. Oh, it doesn't make business sense. Everyone's craving like Adrian Broner and Amir Khan. They're like, oh, that's a good fight, and it was thrown out there, and then all of a sudden, nope, it doesn't make business sense. We're not doing it. Then people were talking about Lucas Matisse, Keith Thurman. Nope, doesn't make business sense. We don't want to do that to our fighters, so we'll have Keith Thurman fight Julio Diaz, who's like, I think off back-to-back losses. Like, come on, man. And then you have fights like Yuri Ortiz Gamboa, Mikey Garcia fell through the fucking cracks. Yeah, we're gonna do this May 17th or whatever at the Forum in L.A. And then they're saying Mikey Garcia priced himself out, and then they're saying Gamboa priced himself out, and then now in the May 17th date we have Alvarado versus Marquez. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care about that fight. The fight is just, that's like a stay busy fight to me. The fights that I want to see are the fights that look very hopeless right now, and it's pretty upsetting. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe to our next videos. Ego signing off.